Hi, I'm interghost and today I'll be reviewing StarFox Adventures on the GameCube by Rare from 2002. So this game is part of the StarFox series, which started with StarFox on the Super Nintendo in 1993, which also they ran a competition in 1993 also. This is followed by StarFox 64 on the N64 in 1997. This was followed by the game I'm reviewing today, StarFox Adventures from 2002 on the GameCube, and then StarFox Assault also on the GameCube from 2005. And finally StarFox Command on the DS from 2006. StarFox also appeared in the Smash Brothers series on the N64, the GameCube and on the Wii. He also made an appearance on Wario Smooth Moves in the Wii also. Three unreleased games were StarFox 2 on Super Nintendo from 1995, StarFox on the Virtual Boy in 1995, and rumoured was a StarFox arcade machine, which was meant to be out in 2004. So StarFox Adventures was the last game developed by Rare before it became part of Microsoft back in 2002. So it's probably going to be the last StarFox game which is going to be produced for a Nintendo system. It was originally going to be called Dinosaur Planet, but this was changed in development. The game was meant to be released on the N64, but because it is near the end of its lifespan, they decided to hold it back and release it as a release title on the GameCube. I'll go into that in more detail in a bit. So the Dinosaur Planet which Fox is on is called Sauria, and it's in the Lilat system. And you play Fox McCloud, and you've been deployed by General Pepper, who also appears in the other games, to restore the planet after the pieces of the planet have broken off and they're causing a threat to the rest of the system. So that's the main story behind the game. The game itself is a similar engine to the Zelda game Ocarina of Time, and the actual controls and gameplay are very similar. And as you can see, the graphics are very good for a GameCube game which was released in 2002. A lot of the graphics were revolutionary, like the dynamic fur effect on Fox and also the grass on the floor made the game feel a lot more realistic to games which people were used to on the N64. And like I said, this game was going to be released originally on the N64 as Dinosaur Planet. This was going to be totally unrelated from the StarFox series. And here you have the concept art of the game which was going to be released on the N64. Here's the poster, and also the main character which was going to be Crystal, and the male character which is going to be called Saber. And here's a few screenshots from the N64 version which was never released. So you also had Tricky, who is the dinosaur who comes along with you, and there's also going to be a character called Kite who only appears briefly in the start of the new version. So originally, when this game was going to be released, it was going to be called StarFox Adventures Dinosaur Planet to keep in line with what the game was originally going to be called, but they decided at the last minute to drop the Dinosaur Planet bit and just call it StarFox Adventures. So this game, like I said, a lot of people compare this game to Zelda. It's got small things like the day and night transitions, which I think are done better in this game rather than on Zelda, and also just the general controls, the jumping, for example. When you reach an edge of a platform, Fox will jump on his own, and also if you walk into things like ladders, he will climb up the ladders. It also has a targeting system where you can, in Zelda you can use a bow and arrow or a boomerang, whereas in this game you can use fireballs or an ice blast.
Affirmative. I'll get back to work.
Hey, Fox! Isn't this music getting on your nerves? I'm trying to work on my maps.
Okay, old timer. Turn it down, Slippy.
So this was also one of the first games on the GameCube to use a widescreen select mode, so you can actually play the game on widescreen. The characters use a Dino type language, which is a bit like the languages which Fox and his friends speak in the Super Nintendo version of the game, but now in this version Fox and his friends all speak in English. Unlike the previous games, this game is mostly on foot. He does get to fly his R-Wing, like on here, which is similar to the original games, but this is only a little part in the game. So this game sold over 200,000 copies in Japan when it was first released back in 2002, and it's one of the fastest selling games on the GameCube system. And after playing this game all the way through for the first time recently, I believe this is one of the best games on the GameCube and definitely one to get. The main thing I like about this game is the size of the adventure, and also the game seems to have no sort of loading times at all, and you can go from area to area without having to wait for the disc to load up. So this game is an excellent game, and I would recommend that you try this one out. So thanks for watching my review. This is my first GameCube review, and if you like it, can you please leave some comments and subscribe. And thanks to Gordy, Video Games Nut, for making the music. And here is a nice little clip of the cancelled N64 version of the game. Enjoy.